Well, after a rainy day this morning, the field was all dry for the Bourne Braves and no scare of a ball game being canceled today as the Bourne Braves took on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks once again, this time an 8-6 victory here at Dorn Park. Blaine McCormick, Justin Galanti, Kyle Kirchhoff, and we have a special guest, Grant Witherspoon, who had a heck of a game today. Grant, what is this momentum that you're riding right now? I mean, you had an impressive game last night, a good game before that. How's the hot streak coming?
I don't know. It just helps to have good hitters in front of me and behind me. So, but I mean, I'm just seeing a lot of pitches and kind of trying to stay true to myself and not really just get over aggressive, which I tend to do a lot. So it's something I'm working on.
Is plate discipline something you're really trying to work on? You mentioned that you don't want to be too aggressive. Were you feeling a little more aggressive in the regular season?
Yeah, I feel like I was. Like most times I got out, I was just getting myself out, and if I can cut down on that, it'll be a big boost for me, I feel like.
Grant, offense has been kind of tough for you guys to come by at the start of the season, but after these last few games, you guys have really started to pick it up a little bit. 15 runs in these two games. Are the bats starting to come around? Are people starting to settle in, or what's kind of been the difference?
Yeah, I feel like we've had bases like loaded, or a couple guys on it. The whole season, but I feel like what the difference is, we just get those hits here and there. It just really helps out. I feel like that's the biggest difference. Pretty similar, but just rolling right now.
Sure.
Good couple wins.
Seems like the lineup's gotten really deep since Scott Schreiber joined, and he moved up to protect you today.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like with having a guy behind you like that?
Yeah, he's a great hitter. I'm trying to watch him and take some stuff from him, honestly. I feel like every time I'm on base, he just squares one up. But, yeah, it's really good. We got our whole lineup that's deep. We got guys that 8-9-hole hitters that are not 8-9-hole hitters, but it's really good.
Now, we heard from a couple of the guys that you got a kind of an unconventional haircut.
Yeah.
Do you mind showing the fans what you got?
Oh, yeah. I just got the Tomahawk in the back. Get the little tail in it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Was that did you lose a bet, or was it just a preference?
No, it's just some swag for the fans.
Nice. Well, I love it, Grant. It's looking good on you, man.
Thanks, man.
Well, thanks for coming on Tomahawk Talk. Keep riding the momentum, brother.
Appreciate it.
Well, another day and another win for the Bourne Braves as they collect their third straight win on the season. Now, Kyle, what is the biggest deal about this Bourne Braves team? We saw the bullpen kind of collapse yesterday. Today, they rebounded pretty big. How did the Braves really come away with the victory in the pitching category?
Well, pitching-wise, it hasn't been as pretty as it has been for the Braves throughout the course of this season, but frankly, they've been putting up numbers that are hard to replicate for an entire 44-game season. But really, the offense has helped the bullpen be able to settle down a little bit, and they've been able to protect these leads with the fact that the offense is behind them, helping them out. They're not having to protect 2-1 leads. They can go out there and expect their offense to help them out a little bit later. So in a game where Sean Leland didn't go all too far, they were still able to go out there and pitch effectively and still allow the Braves offense to follow them up. So really they're just picking up their opportunities where they can, and they're picking up their starters really well, and they've just been consistent in getting outs when they need it.
And speaking of consistent, Grant Witherspoon has been very consistent in every game that he's played. The guy hasn't really had an off day yet. What did you see from his performance today?
Yeah, Witherspoon's the only Brave who has started every game, and he showcased extra base power so far this summer. And it seemed like early in the season when Bourne was leaving a lot of guys on base, now he's become the guy that's gotten the big hit when necessary. He's done it a couple times, had a bases clearing double a couple games ago, had a big hit tonight, and he's just staying within himself. He talked about it with us. Not getting himself out at the plate, having a simple approach, and him and Schreiber have been dynamic over the last 3 games.
And keeping with the consistency theme, Scott Schreiber has been the definition of it. He had the walk-off hit 2 days ago, a huge 3-run home run last night in Hyannis, and then he comes out today with putting up 3 on the scoreboard early on.
Yeah, Blaine, and it's not just all or nothing for Scott. Even when he makes outs, he hits the ball hard. And this guy, Justin and I talked about this on the broadcast. We've seen a couple balls hit into gaps or down the lines, and the ball's just kind of stalled out. It's been out of power or whatever. But here, when Scott comes up, he can line a double down the line, and it has to come only 2 or 3 inches off the ground, and it has enough power to roll all the way to the fence. So really, he has that intangible power that is just absolutely critical for a guy in the Braves order, especially batting where he's been at.
Now, the Braves have a doubleheader tomorrow against Brewster. What does this offense need to do to stay hot, especially in these kind of situations where you have those long days, especially tomorrow with these two games with 7 innings?
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a long day. Bourne's done a really good job the last 2 games, especially against Hyannis, of drawing walks, and that's how they've built up build up opportunities for themselves, and then putting the ball in play. It seems like a couple nights ago we talked about how important it was to not strike out so much, and since then, barely anyone struck out. I mean, they've drawn a ton of walks, gotten on base, and they're putting the ball in play at times when they need to, gotten a few runs. They've gotten big hits from Schreiber and Witherspoon and guys like that. Grant Williams had a few hits tonight. But it's been big, and just continue the momentum. Keep putting the ball in play, working good at-bats. Don't get yourself out. Don't strike out too much, and things will all be good.
Now, that transitions nicely into our Players of the Game segment. Normally, I would go first, but I'm going to save my pick for last because I've got a bit of a surprise for you guys. Kyle, you want to start it off?
No, I'm going to let Justin go first
Okay.
because he complains about constantly being last. So go ahead.
Well, it's not that. I mean, who wants to hear Kyle talk for
That's fair.
4
That's
minutes,
right.
wow.
Fair. That's fair.
Tonight is a tough one. Williams was great. Witherspoon was great. Schreiber was great. And it seems like we're getting the LeBron or Michael Jordan effect with Scott Schreiber already, where it's how much can we have him on Tomahawk Talk?
Sure. Yeah.
How much can we name him player of the game? But I'm going to do it one more time. Scott Schreiber got the big hit early in the game, set the tone, had a big hit late, got the Braves an insurance run. So have to go to Schreiber again.
Okay, well, I'm going to give a bit of a tip of the cap to Grant Witherspoon because I'm not going to give him my player of the game, but I think you have to credit him for the consistency that he's shown, and really he's been one of the few consistent bats in this Braves lineup. So another guy, the guy I am going to give my player of the game to is Lyle Lynn, is a guy who's really struggled these past few games. Started out really hot, but like I said, has struggled recently, but tonight is able to come through with a couple of hits, and he threw out 2 out of 4 would-be base stealers tonight. Made an excellent play against the backstop to end the 8th inning, so you have to give him credit for playing a solid game behind the plate. He threw out Mangum a couple times, a guy that we've seen steal bases left and right against this Braves squad, so I'm going to give it to him for his great job at the dish and as the catcher.
So Lyle Lynn, Scott Schreiber. Mine is a bit of a different take. Mine goes to Zach Soucy for today. Now, I know he didn't start it behind the dish, and I know he didn't play at all today, not even an at-bat, but he really was a class act today. In the game, 2 girls got pegged with foul balls, and it's very unfortunate to see that. But he took the extra mile and went up to both of those girls and handed them signed balls. That's something you don't see every day, especially in college ball, even in the major leagues too. But Zach Soucy definitely gets my tip of the cap for the class act that he performed today. Good job, Zach.
I'll change my pick. Zach Soucy, player of the game.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have even said anything. You should have just gone first, and we would have been done with this. Like, no one needed to hear the rest of this.
But all the Braves performed well today. Tip of the cap to everybody on this roster. Thanks for listening to Tomahawk Talk. He's Kyle Kirchville. He's Justin Galanti. So sorry for messing up your name. I'm Blaine McCormick. See you next game.